Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Duneske, where I'm dead set on trying to fix this road. Ooh, that's somewhat close. That'll do. So in the last episode, slash video, slash thing, we laid 3 pieces of laneway. We laid 2 10-meter field entrance points and a 30-meter slope at 15 degrees. So this time we're basically going to shoot straight up and try and get this this hill crested. What I'm going to do first is make sure that's set as grass. Is just get rid of that, and we have that's set wrong now. 2.95. We're just going to get this laid out as if, well, as it will be for the majority of the build of this map. So there we go on that side, and there we go on this side. So it kind of looks like I'm going to be a bit skewish. Skewer on both sides, but I can fix that with my wonderful paintbrushes. How far up do I want to go? I'm gonna go for lanes, and I'm just gonna go nuclear with 50 meters, duplicate, and copy, and cut even. Copy will work, but it's easier to just do that. And what I'm gonna do is just Control Shift copy this, and Control Shift paste it in. And in fact, I can do this. Control Shift copy, Control Shift paste. Now that puts it down there. If we put a 15-degree rotation on the X, it looks ridiculous. Yes. However, it should, but won't, for whatever reason, work. Okay, so have I gone and put too much of a thing on the thing? So let's just get this into position. Okay, so that's a 50-meter section, and it immediately goes wrong. Wonderful. Now what we can do is we can use the measurements from this 50-meter section and actually take the slope down a bit. So let's try copying this in, because it might be a bit easier. Oh, that works! Wonderful. So Control Shift copy and Control Shift paste. Still looks wrong, doesn't it? Control Shift copy and Control Shift paste. And now if I just scoot this 50-meter section over a bit, you'll see that the 5-meter or the 5-degree slope worked. Now I'm just going to check there. Ah, that's wonderful. I can just copy. Far easier. Why does it look like there's a Z rotation? It's because this hill is going off at a funky angle. Wonderful. So now the fun begins again, where I've got to try and get the terrain up to meet the road. If I do a small bit in there like that, and then just cut back over this side, a small bit in there like that. That's actually, this section here is wonky. So I do that. Hey, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere very quickly now. Now I do have the terrain tool set up to be, or the brush set up to be very, very light, and that's intentional because, well, it's still a bit rough at times. If I went all out with 111, it would just have massive mountains everywhere and I'd never get anything done because I'd constantly be trying to fix it. So it's intentionally set a bit light, just so that I can actually get places. I'm just gonna go with a big brush here. I feel like Bob Ross. Use our 2-inch brush here and just paint in the trees here with the 2-inch brush. What day is today? Today's Wednesday. Oh, no Bob Ross on today. I might watch some joy painting later on. It's it's 10 o'clock at night and I'm like barely out of bed because I really am that lazy. I have like had something to eat and stuff, but I got out of bed at like almost 6 this evening, so I'm kind of resigned to the fact that I'll be up all night, and I'll probably record for the majority of the night as well. I want to try and get up until Thursday recorded, and maybe some of next week's videos as well. I don't know what I'm going to do on Friday, because I don't really plan on going on iRacing tonight, and I might try some Legends, actually. The Legends series is basically you drive a mobster car around the short ovals. You would have seen it on Friday if you watched the iRacing video where I was on the Legends oval at Charlotte. The Legends car is better equipped for that oval, but not by much. And it tends to be a bit more... How do I put this nicely? It tends to be a bit more nervous than the street stock. And that was the street stock running the wrong setup. I do have a setup that I got from the iRacing forum. Well, not the iRacing forums. From a website that I found the link on the iRacing forums. So, kind of indirectly from the iRacing forums. Which, by the way, if you do play iRacing... and I'm treating it like a game. It is a game despite the fact that, oh, it's a simulation. No, it's a game. If it was a simulation, it wouldn't cost $12 a month. It would cost significantly more than that. And I didn't pay. I'm not paying $12 a month for it. I used the Black Friday deal, which is now over, and I don't think I mentioned it in the video. But if you do want a good deal for iRacing, at least for the time being, if you use the code PR-GripTV, and before anybody says, complains, I am not a member of GripTV, so this is me doing it from the love of my heart to them. If you use the code PR-GripTV, you get 3 months of subscription, and this is a bit of a downside. The Ford GT2 and GT3 cars, which I don't have. Now, I say it's a downside. They are actually being the GT3 Ford is being retired from the GT3 series at the start of Season 2 2016, which will start, I think, February, 12 weeks from like this week. I think it starts in February, possibly March. The Ford GT and the Rough Track are being retired from the Blancpain Sprint Series and Blancpain Endurance Series because the Mercedes SLS AMG and the Audi R8 are being introduced. Both of them are GT3 cars. And that needs to come out a small bit. There we go. And let's get this done here. Don't know why I sing some of these things, but I do. I was tempted actually to buy the Rough Track, and the Rough Track is actually one of the better value cars on iRacing, despite the fact that it's being retired. and the reason is it actually comes with a few other roughs. It's kind of variants on the car design that it comes with. That'll have to go out a bit more like that, and that can do like this. It comes with some variants. It comes with the C-Spec and the I think it comes with the C-Spec, the rear-wheel drive, and the all-wheel drive versions of the Roof RT12R, which I do believe I actually drove in Project Cars. Also, I realised over the past week that I've had the wrong force feedback settings for ages and never copped it. I had the centering spring turned on, when in fact I should have had it turned off. Okay, so how's this looking now on the ground? There's a small bit of a bump there, that's easily taken care of. Just a bit of smoothing. That'll have to do. This side is a bit of a disaster, but again, it'll have to do. Here's why you use small brushes, is because you can actually get the individual points on the map. There we go. And what do I want to throw in next? I want to try and get this up a bit, if I can at all, which I can't by the looks of it. And that's fine. Do I want to have a straight bit going up now? Yeah, I'm going to put in a 20-meter section of laneway, but not janeway. So we'll paste that in. And here's where the fun begins, because now I'm going to have to copy, and I'm going to do the same trick I used last time with the 50-meter section. Control Shift copy and Control Shift paste. That's a 15-degree slope. We actually now want 10 degrees because we've taken 5 degrees off it. And we want to scoot it up and up like that. And it should be thereabouts. And here's where I get fiddly. Of course I do. That looks to be... oh well. Is it out a bit there? Yep. Oh, please don't tell me there's a Phantom Z rotation after being introduced. There isn't. Good. I saw a little gappy. Now is that down to height or what? It's down to height. So if we do that, now is there a little gappy on this side? Yes. Okay. So we'll try 0.6167, perfect. I've selected one of the world bounds again. That happens from time to time. Sorry if I sound a bit hoarse. I am, for some reason, getting hoarse. I'll have a cup of tea in a minute. Once I'm finished doing this, I'll make myself a cup of tea and try and fix it. Because I do want to try and get some... I keep saying I want to try and get more videos done tonight, and I want to try and get up until Thursday recorded at the very least. And then the rendering will begin, and rendering is awful slow of late because I have increased the bitrate of videos, which means it's a bit more taxing on my computer, which I don't mind too much, to be honest. As long as the videos look better, that's kind of the main thing with the bitrate increase. That's the intention, at least. So if they look worse, let me know. I'm sure that somebody, if they are worse, will already have let me know. And I'm going to tell you right now that as I speak, the Charlotte Street Stocks race is actually uploading. Friday's video is actually uploading. As I am recording this, Thursday's video is uploading. and I've got Friday's video scheduled to upload, or queued to upload directly afterwards. Not scheduled, queued. I do apologize for Wednesday's video. I'm recording this on Wednesday. It went up a bit later than I expected because YouTube... I don't know what YouTube's doing, but it's doing silly stuff again. And it possibly could be a problem on my end. But I doubt it because I've had to upload videos 2 and 3 times over the last couple of days. Which is always fun and not at all infuriating. And I am definitely going to have to fix that. Ooh. There we go. So it seems like this slope is actually perfect for the terrain. There we go. And just a little nudge down like that. A little nudge down like that. A little nudge up there. Too much. Too much. There we go. There we go. That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. Just a little nudge down there because I want some of the gravel to be visible. And that's gonna be good. You see now the next problem is I am definitely gonna need a slope lane -10. Okay. Should have just copied that, shouldn't I? Control V, and what I can do very luckily is Control Shift copy, Control Shift paste, Control Shift copy, and Control Shift paste. So that'll appear there, and yeah, I'm seeing the issue that I'm going to have now. It's an issue I've had a few times, and I haven't really spoken about it in videos, is that the terrain around here isn't suited to the street pack that I'm using. Or the roads pack that I'm using even. And it can, at times, get really, really annoying. 06 7 8 9 6 2 1 0 5 4 there. The street pack that I'm using is from Mod-Hoster, and it's made for European maps. It's made for mainland Europe, and it's not very well suited. That's going to be about as good as I can get. So I'm going to have to essentially cut the entire top off this hill here. Okay, let's get the 50-meter brush and just run it smooth. Because if I can get small hillocks going, or smaller hills going, I don't mind. Just want to get rid of quite significant chunks of terrain that it does get a bit annoying, because you can see the differences there. And there is a bit of grass right up there, so I will need the wheat brush, and I'll just go like that. Go back to terrain detail. These foliage layers, most of them are all interchangeable. I can do grass with a wheat brush, just by changing the info channels. Terrain detail is one of the few that I think it's the only one by default. default, except... Nope, I'm wrong. For terrain detail and forest grass are the only two by default that you actually have to change the foliage layer for. The rest are all pretty much on the one layer, just with different channels. So when it comes to, you know, laying down the grass, which I will do once the road system is in and I've got some buildings in, once I got that done, I will be using the grass channel, and I'll explain that a bit more when the time comes. I'll also be laying down forest grass in the forestry area because it makes sense, and under some trees. If I do a kind of a generic wooded area around the edge of the map, I will have forest grass in, as if, you know, as Maya was saying, yeah, you can get around here, but you're not going to do much. And by the way, you'll see some beach sand over there. That's going to be the railway line. I've got that marked in, kind of highlighted for myself, so that I know that it's not going to be a road, because otherwise I just get confused and try and put roads there. I have to download a railway line pack yet, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to investigate whether I can use some assets from Bjornholm or Westbridge Hills for the railway. It really all depends on how well it meshes with kind of the rest of the map. Because if it looks vastly different, I'm not going to use it. Now obviously, Ireland, everything looks weird here. I'm gonna admit that everything looks weird. There's no two buildings that look alike, except if they're in like housing estates and hey, I live in one. But out in the countryside, you basically, if you live in the countryside here, you've got an architect. And have I done something funky to this? Yes, I've used a remove brush, not a smooth brush. That explains why I've been having issues. I must have scrolled over it. The remove brush only works on, I can show you, I won't show you because that'll be annoying. It doesn't work on terrain, it just works on the not detail layers and foliage layers. It doesn't actually work on the terrain editing itself, which is nice, I must admit, because if you goof up by using it the remove brush, it doesn't do anything. The replace brush does, because it replaces to a specific height, which I will probably be using with when I'm placing down buildings, and possibly as well the railway line, because I want that to be relatively flat and as few hills as possible, because I don't expect the Giants train to be able to get up hills all that easily. Also don't expect it to be able to get around corners, so yeah. Plus I think just flat railway lines and maps look a bit better, especially because there's going to be a few cuttings. There is another bit of grass over there that I've just spotted. Where are you? There. And I've just placed down some phantom wheat, which is fine. So yeah, this is... progress is not quick on a map like this, and I know that, and I'm going for a detailed map, which is why it's going to slow progress even further when it comes to adding the details. And again, I know this. How does that look? Reasonable. I want to go back to this and just try and smooth out this area here a small bit, because that looks like it's a bit of a steep. There we go. I will be doing testing to see if it is in fact possible for combines to go around these areas. So don't be worried about some of these extreme hills that I'm after creating. I will be testing and just making sure that everything can work with, I'm going to say at most 10 meter implements. So in the hilly areas you'll be using the smaller combines. I'm not intending this map to be used with the biggest equipment. I'm saying that right now. This map is not intended for the CR1090 or the big axial flow combine. It's going to be intended for the likes of the TC590 and maybe the smaller of the cases. But if you can get them to work on this map, by all means. If you can get them to work, I'm not gonna, jump out of your computer and stop you. I'm gonna be impressed, in fact. Now, if I can get them to work, it means that I've kind of failed in my intentions, and I won't mind all that much. Because I do know this is going to be a big map. This is going to be probably a very multiplayer-friendly map when it's done. Because you probably know if you watch my series, if you watch my other videos, that I do like having quite a bit of storage on maps for bales and whatnot. So you can obviously store vehicles and equipment in those areas as well, which means that it's going to be very storage heavy. It's going to be very tight, which is kind of why I'm thinking the larger equipment might not work too much. Like this area is only about 7 or 8 meters wide. You're definitely not going to be going around anywhere with the header on the combine. Especially because I'm going to throw some trees into the mix by the roadside. I'm not going to put them in the field because I'm not that bad. If I do put them in the field, I'll take the collisions off. Because that is a bit of an irritation. Well, if I do put them in the field, I'll put a bit of a headland around them so that it's less likely you collide. I know I said this for Coldborough Park Farm, or Coldborough Farm in fact, that I think if you're going for realism, which is what I'm going for, because that's my playstyle, you're going to want collisions on everything, so I'm going to go down the bullet bill route of realism where everything has collisions, but it's going to be the fair kind of collisions, especially with hedges. I need this brush, so I'm going to lay down some grass here. And is that still crooked? Oh, good lord. Oh, because I was on the wrong brush earlier, yes. Okay, so let's get this smoothed out. Now, I know I will have to do some more work to this area afterwards because there is still a slope going kind of downwards, as you can possibly make out there. There's a slope going kind of from right to left. And what I'm going to do now is junctions, lane T junction, copy and paste. Put it in there. And it's going to be here-ish. I'm saying here-ish because that's just going to be my marker for it. I am going to bring the roads up a bit farther, and you can see already I'm having some issues. It's going to be going about here-ish. I will move it to mesh with the road, but what I'm going to do is bring the road in first in a 5 meter chunk, which I'll do right now. In 5 meters, and we'll copy this. We'll paste it up here, and we'll Control B. I'm going to take this Y rotation. I'm going to paste it in there. Now, because this is a slope, we can't really take much else. We could, but it would actually complicate things massively. So we're going to be going up probably to there-ish. Nope, it's going to go up even higher. And this is going to be the last piece that I'll lay in, because we are up at 30 minutes now. And I'll tinker with it either off camera or next Saturday, depending on how much time I have. That is clearly too high. There-ish. Is that good? That looks... Oh, 1. Oh, 5. That looks about right to me there, so we'll just scoot it over to the right a smidge. And now we'll scoot it all up to there. And that's about as good as I can get. So what I'm going to do, either off camera or next week, well, first of all I'm going to get this laid in like this. You can see that once you get back onto the flat and into a relatively nice area, that it does actually come together fairly quickly, the terrain, because that is, I'm going to call that more or less the way that I want it. A small few tweaks here and there, but that's about as good as I can get it, I think. Yeah, that's about good. And yeah, what I'm going to do next week, or during the week if I've managed to capture the time somewhere, is I'm going to bring this road up in 1 meter increments. I might be able to get away with another 5 actually. Let's just try this. Duplicate. And there-ish. Now what I can do right now is I can prepare the ground, because we know that we're going to want 67.701, and we can prepare the ground over here to receive whatever road pieces we need, kind of primarily at least. So yeah, I could have done with a 10 meter section there, because it's 2 5 meter sections. And that's going to be 1 meter increments from there on out. And we're going to have a bit of a hill on one side of this road, which is going to be interesting. On one side of the top road, anyway. Kind of leading into this road here. And I'm going to, because I've already gone down along here, I'm going to try and finish off this square here. And I'm going to try and get the entire road done in squares. And you can see I've got some notes left for myself over there somewhere. So I'm going to pretty much leave it here. Thank you all very much for watching. I will see you next week, if you only want to watch me making the map. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow on Mulroy Bay, Tuesday on Nuston Farm, Wednesday back on Mulroy, Thursday back on Nuston, and Friday... I almost choked. Friday, literally somewhere, I have no idea. So thank you all very much for watching. I will see you next time. Until then, stay safe and goodbye. Always save your work before finishing.